Hello, hello. We have a new chapter of Berserk after a 3-month gap. That's not too crazy in the world of Berserk. The plot threads are starting to coalesce a little bit. We have kind of two major focuses: Griffith rebuilding the Empire of Man through many different initiatives, all of which sound very prosperous and virtuous and wonderful. And then meanwhile, Guts and company are still out on Elf Island, undergoing what I guess you could simplify down as like a training arc. Most notably, at the end of the last chapter, Guts meets with the person who built the titular Berserk armor and also built the armor that seems to be keeping the Skull Knight alive in some perpetual state of beyond death. So this is a pretty major figure in the lore of the series. Someone who holds a lot of answers to questions we've been seeking. Someone who might be able to allow Guts to tap into an unprecedented level of power and control over the Berserk armor. I don't know. Is this all amounting to powering them up for some final showdown against the Falconia Kingdom? I don't know. It's really hard to tell where the overall direction of this series is going to go, but we're going to get some badass, very interesting stuff in the meantime. So, Guts berserkifies. The armor, again, taking that little doggy form and biting over his face. This chapter is called Phantasm. This smith, who seems to have some sort of mystical control over all of his tools, just effortlessly restraining Guts. I'm not sure if it's because these things are ludicrously strong, these little calipers holding him back, or if it's like a special weakness of the Berserk armor that he's able to exploit, being its creator and stuff. But yeah, Guts is definitely at his mercy here. Cutting class already. Doing to Guts, resorting to torture? No. Figured I'd show him one. A blood memory that seeped into the armor. What caused its previous owner's life to be consumed by the Berserker. And this is something that Shirkei, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Shirkei's teacher had mentioned, right? That this armor was kind of cursed, that it had taken over the lives of people who wore it before. This was her grave warning to Guts before he put it on. So now we're actually going to tap into that and learn about it. And this very telling shot of the Skull Knight, when that's being said, makes me think it's something from his era, something that ties into his own mysteries and his mysterious title as the former emperor of the world. So, indeed, this is where we are now. Okay. Suddenly into one of these eclipse-type apocalypse scenarios where all the weirdest, squirmiest, spookiest, scariest elements of Berserk emerge. We see in the distance 5 shadowy figures. I assume that is, of course, our God Hand. So we're building connections now between the deepest and highest, most powerful parts of the lore in this series, which is quite exciting. That the Berserk armor and the Skull Knight and the God Hand all have something to do with each other, all take place in the same era, in the same kind of mystical realms. Maybe. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Murata just going in. Or Mira, sorry. Mira just delighting. There's a certain kind of feverish ecstasy of vision in these sorts of drawings. And it's uncanny. Like, the more the plot became kind of friendly, I guess I would say. Not that it ever really became friendly, but, you know. We had a charming party that Guts got to take with him. There was more comedy. There was more lightheartedness. There was a growing sense of hope in the series. And such that you felt like maybe Mira was changing. That all of this idol master, appreciating the cute things in life, becoming a grounded and happy person. And then you see this, and it's just like the depths of his mind, the horrors that still lurk within that allow him to conjure up these images. Uncanny. And then this bottom panel, splattered with blood. Could this be perhaps the first inclination of the Berserk armor's wielder rampaging through this forest of demons? Like these really fast, blurry cut lines through these panels. Could that be the sword swinging back and forth wildly? There they are, the God Hand. They're looking a lot different, though. I don't know what's up with that. This is kind of crazy, because the God Hand, aside, of course, of Griffith's indoctrination and his ascension as Femto and joining up with them, it seemed like their roster was like pretty immutable since time immemorial. That had just been these guys, chilling out, having tea, chatting. But now we see, whenever this is being set, this blood memory of the armor, things were quite different. There was still Mr. Skull outside, or Brain outside as Skullman, name totally forgotten. But everybody else has been replaced. And I gotta say, these designs are just amazing. Like, unsettling to the nth degree. Each one of them so unique. Each one of them just so, like, representative of some huge amalgamation of, like, fears and anxieties and, like, deep primordial unsettling things that tap into our very lizard brain and make us think, no, this is not okay. Representing, of course, also twisted desires we see over here. What is clearly like a vagina mouth and a million boobies. And I don't, it's just this twisted psychosexual horror, this depravity. Like, how does he come up with these designs? Oh my god. Oh yeah, it's very, 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 very unsettling. It seems to form new links in those deepest, recessed parts of the brain, where suddenly you, just through this visual conflation, realize that a lust for something and a fear of something else actually stem from the same primal feeling deep down inside of you. I cannot praise this enough. I think these designs knock it out of the park. I don't know what is going on in terms of lore. Like, who are these people? When were they replaced with the current God Hand? I don't know. Here's a Barky Boy. He's not enjoying what he sees. Memory seems to resonate with him. Which makes sense, because kind of the formatting of it was very similar to the Eclipse. That chaos all around them. What's the pandemonium? All demons swirling around him. And then in the very distance, at the apex, definitely the seed of causality of this suffering is the God Hand. Although, mostly different people. Sure, it's stirring up a lot of really bad memories for him. Oh, now he's out of the chains. Pretty impressive, given that those were certainly some sort of magical chains. Oh. His memories are like shorting out and conflating with someone's in the past. The previous armor wearer holding someone's body. The elf queen? Oh my gosh. So is this the fairy queen lady that they encountered when they were trying to fix Casca's memory? But then she has the brand that attracts apostles and stuff, that made Guts marked for death after the eclipse. What is going on, my guys? What in the world does this mean? Another amazing spread, though. Just looking at, so now we can see these like really blurred lines. This is like the outer edge of the eyelid. The feeling of the vision constricting and fading of the previous Berserk armor wearer. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Yeah, just this real like sketchy blackness disconnecting these memories, and then the blood streaming down. before their eyes. Okay. Happened. He stopped dead like a puppet with its change or its strings cut. Okay, now she's gonna do her routine. This is kind of her role in this whole Berserk armor empowering thing. She can still tap in. She can bring him back to sanity. Ooh, and it seems like way back in the day, when the previous owner wore it, there was someone else who played this role? Another little mage girl? Or is... No. Or is this just her intruding into these memories and kind of like altering them and breaking guts out of the cycle of reliving it? I don't know. It looks so much like her that I think it's just her again. But I'm not really sure what's being depicted. He pops out. Hello. Okay. Back with us. Come to my house. Same old. That right now is for sure the end. The end? Was that a vision of the future? No, I don't think so. I mean, that would be a little more hype if those characters we saw in the God Hand that I found so evocative and intriguing were still to come. That they haven't already been like defeated, that they haven't already been replaced. But instead we're going to see them rise up and ascend in the same way that Griffith did. That would be pretty cool. But I don't think so. I think that was a memory. It's for sure the end. What you bore witness to is the end of a foolish king. Okay, so that was the Skull Knight. I was thinking it because the armor looked very skull-like, you know? The previous iteration of the Berserk armor. And it somehow seemed to have the same vibe as the Skull Knight. Okay. The beginning of a dead man stalking the endless night. Okay, so this is the origin of the Skull Knight. At long last, one of the most mysterious figures in all of the Berserk lore. Someone who is one of Guts' most reliable allies and yet most unreliable characters in many ways, too. Like, where is he going? When will he show up next? Why didn't he show up and help us this time or this time or this time? Was he busy, perhaps? But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. What is the actual lore explanation for this guy's behavior? Continues next time. No promises on when next time is. But a pretty crazy chapter. Because of Corona, I can't attend the funeral and express my feelings. Yeah. That is how it is in the world today. Okay. We will look forward to the next chapter. Just gonna go back and look at that new old God Hand again. Crazy. I just can't get over these designs. Something about like the way they don't really signify like power very much. They look like very stationary, almost more artifact than alive. And yet you just know that's inexplicable, unimaginable terror just emanates out from them. All right. Good times. Bye-bye.